Welcome, everyone. I'm Eddy Cocciollo. I'll be your host for today's third session of the Back to Work series, The Power of Marketing. Thank you all for joining us. All of you on this call today are the exception. Your time is valuable, and I know that we very much appreciate you spending it with us today. So the feedback on the two first sessions was really good. So I want to give a really quick recap of those first two. So the first one was Relationship Matters. We talked about gaining momentum in your business and maximizing your referrals. Greg spent some time on the 5 types of marketing appeal. That's emotional, fear, humor, logical, and bandwagon. He tied them nicely into all of our tools to help you communicate effectively to your database. We also had the Blue Mortgage Dudes. It's like the Blue Man Group, but these are the Blue Mortgage Dudes. Does that make sense? They talked about automating the client journey, essentially pressing the easy button and effectively managing your business through the mortgage application process. I spoke to Massimo and Tom, and they said they received many requests for demos. If you want a request, reach out to me, Eddy at DLC.ca, and I'll ensure that Massimo or Tom get a hold of you. Then finally, we had Heather and Doreen, and they nailed the endless amount of tools to help you mine the gold that is underneath you by using Velocity and its one-touch reports. It's pick 'em or build 'em reports to customize your audience. We talked about Autopilot, the monthly newsletter and the rate minder, the social squares and the custom design, and much more. A ton of great feedback on that session. Then we had session number 2, Navigating a Shifted Market. We talked about the 5 factors of success: mindset, work ethic, dedication, support team and its surroundings, and motivation. We heard from Louis, who talked about the discipline of making calls and keeping his pipeline full. Daniel talked about always being proactive in your business so you never need to be reactive. And Leslie talked about the importance of bringing the community into her business and being that trusted advisor. Valuable insights in working on your business. The goal is to give you the ideas, but the value is only, guys, in implementing them. You can't just listen. You need to plan and you need to execute. So I hope you are all working on it. Okay, so before we start with our first guest, some advice from these business icons. Dave, video, please.
The best advice to a small business owner, or for that matter, to a large business owner, is never stop thinking about how to delight your customer. Not to satisfy your customer, but to delight your customer. And when you wake up in the morning, start thinking about it. During the day, think about it. At night, think about it, and then dream about it. And no company's ever failed that had millions of delighted customers. And you start with them and you get them one at a time.
There's no substitute for hard work. The best time you're ever going to have is when it starts out just you, and it'd be great if it grows into a wonderful, big, profitable company. But you're never going to be happier and more satisfied than you are in the first year or so of getting your business going, because you do every single thing. You sweep up when everybody goes home. You're the first one in. You plug in the coffee pot, so when your people come in, they have hot coffee and can get straight to work. You work through lunch, set an example for them. But there's no substitute for hard work. People say luck, yes, but the harder you work, the luckier you get.
My advice to a small business owner or any entrepreneur would be not to be discouraged if the business you end up with is not the one you started out to pursue. Because so often you encounter difficulties, you encounter failures, and the important piece is to learn from each of those very quickly and to pivot and to move on to the idea that works.
Of course, you have to be close to your products, close to your customers, and think about them. That's the most important, but don't forget to think about your business, what your plans are, what you want to do next, how to take your business to the next level. Again, think about being in your business, but think about your business as well.
Being an entrepreneur, can be a roller coaster ride at times. You will have great days, you will have not so great days. You may even from time to time have an awful day. You've got to stay focused and stay level-headed and keep your feet on the ground.
Companies that do well at some level, even though it may not be written down on a piece of paper, need to have kind of a clear strategy of why they're different, why they're adding value, why they're producing something special that customers need and that they're not getting now. So I think if there's a clear sense of strategy and you can get all the people aligned around that, then you get a lot more power than if you're just scrambling and working harder and harder and without that clear direction. So that's my one piece of advice.
Delight your customers. Satisfying them is just not good enough anymore. No substitute for hard work. Set an example. The harder you work, the luckier you get. Encounter failures, learn from them, and pivot. Think about your business and take it to the next level by working on your business, which is what we're trying to get across in this series. Having bad days is part of business, guys, but stay focused. Have a clear strategy why your value is different. All great points from very, very smart people. Okay, now let's talk marketing. Today, it's all about getting you noticed. Some of you have never given marketing a thought. I know that. But some of you are killer marketers, and I've seen it. Just a shout out to a few. Angela Calla, who wrote a book, which is great marketing, by the way. Also, she's on a radio every week at the same time, so her audience knows they can hear from Angela. FC Funding, a great digital campaign on showcasing their agents and their staff on social media. It's really, really well done. Tracy Valco, her education videos are so that people can absorb them, understand them. She does a great job with them. Mr. Bowtie, Sean Humphreys, who was a Blue Spirit Award winner, his videos are fun. Check them out. And by the way, sometimes good ideas from others is all you need, right? You don't have to reinvent the wheel, guys. Sometimes those good examples you can copy and just make them their own. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Okay, we are so proud of our guests today because they truly make a difference. You are in for an awesome session. Please get your notepads ready. I just wanted to just touch upon something that happened a couple of years ago when the pandemic started. As you guys know, the ones that are here, we doubled down on all our marketing. We wanted to get in front of Canadians and let them know we are in business, ready to help in a safe manner. We blasted out that message everywhere. We also had some new videos and new content. We launched the Level Up series, which is hosted by Gary Mauris. CEO to CEO was created back during the pandemic. By the way, Gary has Sue Hutchinson on next week on the 13th, the president and CEO of Equifax, We launched ICW with Sherry Cooper. We doubled down on all of our digital advertising, all to help splash the DLC brand. So let's talk to our next guest. Kate Brady is coming up to talk about keeping customers coming back with the power of marketing. Kate and her teams do such a great job for us. Her marketing team just keeps on delivering. We will be launching a new commercial campaign. And to help Kate introduce what we are going to do is Gary Mauris, the founder and CEO of DLC. Gary, Kate, welcome to today's episode.
Eddie, how are you? Kate, good to see you.
Good to see you.
I'm doing awesome. Gary, just before I begin, a quick story, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Dong and I were on a plane to Edmonton, and we both were wearing DLC sweaters. And the gentleman across from us say, "Hey, I recognize that logo." And I said, "Yeah, we're Canada's leading mortgage company, and we help Canadians get the best mortgages." And he said, Yeah, I've heard of DLC, Dominion Lending Centers. Don Cherry, right? Years after, he remembered Don Cherry. So I thought you'd like that story.
Yeah, that was just recently on your most recent trip?
Yeah, just last week.
Good. Awesome. Good. Well, listen, I'll jump right in. First off to Eddie and the team and that puts this university series together. Thank you. Continued great work as always. To all of our brokers and agents across the country, guys, here we are going into our 17th year now, and we're still Canada's leading mortgage company. We're number one in origination by a resounding sort of amount over our nearest competitors. I would argue to say that we have the most prominent, dominant brand in the Canadian finance space. It's very, very visible. And it's interesting today because we're going to talk about our upcoming sort of campaign. And we've done a lot of different campaigns over the years. Kate, Brady, Lisa, Moore, the entire marketing team for the group has just done outstanding work. And we're always looking for something that we think is a little bit different, a little bit edgy, a little bit out there. Talking about Don Cherry, it's interesting because Don Cherry was a very, very controversial choice for us. He had just come off, sort of after we signed him, he got into an argument with made some really crazy comment that sort of resonated Canada-wide. People said he was male-dominated, he was sports-orientated. And we look back now, and Don Cherry went down as our most significant marketing campaign in the history of Dominion Lending Centers. He literally put us on the map. People recognized Don for his opinion, but they recognized him as a credible voice. And you always knew who Don was, whether you saw him or whether you heard him speak. So we decided to start looking for another similar campaign earlier this year. Now, not a spokesperson, not someone like, that their job is to actually, be the voice of the authority of our company. But we started to look for someone who we thought would, be sort of like would resonate with the public, right? From an asset that we could use in both radio, which is a new program that we're going into a television, a destination television, an asset that we could be used, whether you saw him or whether you heard him. And the gentleman we came up with is the legendary UFC ring announcer, Bruce Buffer. And we're going to show you some of the 15-second sort of sizzle social media commercials that we've done here shortly. But Bruce is an interesting choice as well. Number one, the UFC is one of the fastest growing sports in the world. Number two, we didn't build the campaign around fighting or around UFC. Our marketing isn't around UFC or big fights. Our marketing is mainstream media, destination television. We're going to go and do some radio, as I said. But who is Bruce? Well, Bruce has been doing sort of the UFC announcer, segment for 26 years. So almost since the inception of that organization. A lot of you have you seen him on U.S. channels recently? He's been doing Geico, the largest insurance company in the world for the last, 4 or 5 years. You might have saw him. He's done some really cool things. He's guest appeared on Friends. He's guest appeared on Hell's Kitchen. He did a Bud Light Super Bowl commercial. He's a spokesperson and an announcer for the ESPN World Series of Poker. He's really, really sort of done incredibly well with his catchphrase, "It's time." And we're going to play that catchphrase. Some of you might be on the call today thinking, I'm not sure who Bruce is. I don't know him. But when you hear his catchphrase and his voice, I'm sure a lot of you will recognize him. Really fun for us to be able to do some really cool commercials and marketing campaigns around Bruce Buffer and his It's Time program. We're going to talk about also, too, an opportunity for you in local markets to be able to do sort of the equivalent of a cameo, but to use Bruce in any of your marketing commercials in your local communities. If you're doing radio or television, or you just want a web presence or social or on your website, there is a series that you guys can get involved with, and you can actually have Bruce record personalized messages for you. So yeah, we're really super excited about it. What I'd like to do is I'd like to maybe show 2 or 3 of the 15-second. We have the 30-second commercials, 2 of them that'll be done, I think, in about a week from now. But as of today, you're going to start seeing start to drip out some It's Time, some Bruce Buffer campaigns. And it's interesting to remember, as I said, Bruce is not the spokesperson for us. He's a campaign. If he works for us really well, we'll continue to use him. If he doesn't, then we won't. It's fun because we can, use him in a lot of very different spots. We think he's got some real diversity to him on his ability to deliver the messages. So, Kate, have you got those 3 commercials?
Yes, we are ready to go.
It's time, Gary.
It's time.
It's time.
Billy, it's time for you to buy your first home. We brought legendary announcer Bruce Buffer here to tell you...
It's time to move out!
Buying your first house doesn't have to be scary. Contact Dominion Lending Centers. Is your mortgage coming up for renewal? Know when it's time to get a second opinion.
It's time!
Let a Dominion Lending Centers mortgage expert find the best rate for you. Does your house need a little TLC?
Maybe it's time to remodel the kitchen.
It's time!
Time to refinance. Contact the Dominion Lending Centers mortgage expert.
So that's pretty cool. I'm really excited about it. I mean, I think the actual "it's time" I think can be something that is incredibly powerful to just tag Dominion Lending Centers. It's kind of the equivalent of a jingle. But everything we do, it's time to get your best mortgage rate from Canada's leading mortgage company. It's time. So we're super excited about it. The 30-second commercials that are coming out are absolutely incredible. We did have some help from some DLC brokers across the country that we thought did a really good job with their marketing over the years. Early days, we had them in on a focus group, and we got some sort of feedback with them. So yeah, no, we're really excited about it. I think we're going to be able to do a lot with it. It's very, very clever. It's interesting because we have the exclusive. Bruce is a big deal in the U.S. As I said, he's been doing Geico for years. He's been with the UFC for 26 years. He was, did a Super Bowl commercial. He's done all these sort of guest appearances. But it's interesting because for us, we wanted someone who was coming to Canada that we could really build a campaign around long term, really build something that was exciting and that would stick in the minds, right? So, it's time to refinance your mortgage. It's time to get the lowest rate. It's time to work with Canada's mortgage professional. It's time to get the banks competing with your mortgage. It's time to join Dominion Lending Centers. There's so many different things that we can do with him. So we are super excited about it.
Well, Gary, you can't see the comments, but they're blowing up right now. And I couldn't help. I've seen those before, and I still smiled and started giggled because that's the whole idea. The whole idea is to make it fun. We've seen other mortgage companies do that as well. So it is sort of time that we make it fun and the audience can see DLC in a different light, not only a serious light, but a fun light. So it's exciting. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, no, so are we. And it's interesting too, because, I'm sure we'll do some advertisement on some UFC fight nights and that sort of stuff, but that's not our prime driver. Our driver is not even that demographic. No, our driver is the Canadian public, right? Our driver is the same demographic that Geico's going after in the US with this guy, right? It's a very, very broad, wide sweep. And it's just an opportunity to spread our message where someone goes, I've heard that. It's time, guys. It's just like Don Terry, right? Controversy, loud, out there, different. And that has got some real recognition to it. So we're excited about it. Yeah.
I just saw a French, I think it was Chantal that just said, c'est le temps. We actually did film. C'est le temps? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You're probably better because you saw it, but maybe you want to fill Quebec in that we did film it in French as well.
Yeah, they all are bilingual. So we've created the exact same commercials in French, same actors as well, which is really exciting for us. So the French commercials are going to be launching same time as the English. They're going to hit your inboxes. Actually, English today, French tomorrow. They're on our airwaves starting tomorrow. We've got lots of exciting content to push out. Digital ads, all this stuff. And we just had so much fun with Bruce and the team, wanting to make them more catchy, as Gary said, really grabbing your attention. We think they work in a lot of different mediums. Obviously, sports television, live event TV, that is a no-brainer. But they also work on HGTV. They work on W Network. They're a little bit more fun. They're lighthearted. They bring a smile to my face. I hope they do to yours. And we're really excited to launch our 30-second commercials as well, which I think you guys will love just equally much. We've got a yoga scene, and we've got a bit of a more of a wrestling fun scene that we're going to use for very special event TV. So really excited to share those with you coming soon.
So Gary,
a nice thing about Bruce too is he's actually really excited about it. He's excited to bring it to the Canadian market with someone who can sort of put him on the map here in Canada, because he's always focused for years on his US endeavors. But he's very pliable when it comes to even doing the filming with him, right? His ability to really get our concept and what we do, and to understand sort of what's important in our messaging. He got that. So we can very, very easily with that catchphrase, tie a lot of different sort of marketing and digital campaigns and radio campaigns around it. So yeah, well done to you, Kate, and your team for putting that all together and getting it to this point. I can't wait for it to run. Let me ask you this. I obviously, like a lot of us, I watch NFL and lots of Monday Night Football on the weekends, and every sort of NFL, game I'm seeing, a couple of DLC commercials. Are they going to be changed this upcoming week?
Yeah, so this week you're going to see the full creative. Our old creative is going to be retired. You are still able to use it if you want something a little bit lighter, but we're encouraging It's Time everywhere. It's going to be all over TV and digital. That transition is actually going to happen as of tomorrow. We're on the Jays game, playoff game, 2 spots on Friday. You're going to see it on NFL, NHL, tons of sports. We're doubling down on our advertising this fall. You are going to see us everywhere, including digital. Lots of exciting announcements coming in your inbox after this DLCU, and then we're going to be dripping and following up with a ton of other exciting announcements around Bruce and campaigns that we're pushing this fall. So I'm excited for you guys to start using it.
Hey, Gary.
Yeah.
Time for you to leave.
It's time. No, I'm going to stick around and watch this. Actually, you can dig me off the screen, but
yeah, absolutely. Just a reminder that you're actually doing our last session, which is on October 12th, where you get Success Leaves Clues. I know that you've been working on this. It's going to be awesome. So make sure you tune in on October 12th, where Gary will be back and talking about Success Leaves Clues. So we're looking forward to that. Thanks, Gary. Really appreciate that. I see the excitement in your voice. This is going to be an awesome time. I'm going to be saying that all the time now. Time again. Yeah, it's a time, right?
It's a time. I have so many things we can do with It's Time. And, just to wrap on the whole Bruce thing, as I've mentioned, there is going to be an official launch email in your inboxes. You're going to see where we are all fall out. As I've said, we've doubled down on advertising. We are making sure that DLC is front and center everywhere, TV, digital. We are also expanding into radio, as Gary teased. So I'm seeing some of the major markets across Canada. It's a very new platform for us, and we're just so excited to push it out. My incredible team, Lisa Moore, and the entire creative team is going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks with some download and go assets that's very Bruce forward, as well as just in your corner kind of content. It's time content. So once you see all that, we encourage you to leverage the custom marketing team, start to get creative with what you want to push out, and there'll be more details again. As Gary alluded to, Bruce is available to be kind of filming individual requests for if you're doing radio or if you want to do some social spots. We're going to have some blooper content from our filming as well that's turned into a little bit more fun.
Those are fun.
Really fun. And then the 30 seconds, like I said, and they're going to be cut down into all sorts of different social aspects and digital content, video reels, and all that stuff. So stay tuned. You'll see Dave's put up some digital ads. You're not seeing Bruce Ford visuals here. We're in your corner, better rates, better service, better results. That's kind of some of the digital campaign you're going to see. We are doing as well, I alluded to a couple of weeks ago, the SCORE partnership. So you're going to see a lot of diversification of where our ads are. Of course, we're on sports and we're on live TV. We know people are tuning in real time. You get to really maximize on your audience engagement that way. But we're also doing, W Network and all sorts of other stuff, hyper targeted ads. So again, watch your inbox for all the details and how you're going to be able to leverage that creative in the coming weeks. We're really excited about it.
Yeah, and here's the good thing. That's not all. You talked about diversification, and we did some videos with Sherry Cooper. Your team is always working on incredible squares and other marketing. So let's dive into that. Because you're going to tell our brokers how they can utilize marketing to help them. So that's what's important here. And get ready with your notes, because here we go. Kate's going to talk a little bit about not only what we offer, but what you can incorporate for yourself, and also go out and maybe do some marketing ideas for your business. So Kate, do you want to start us there?
Yeah, let's start as the second campaign, a little discussion around Sherry Cooper, as you alluded to, and then I'm going to go full bore and give you all the deets on what you should be doing next and how you're going to elevate your business. So we sat down with Dr. Sherry Cooper. We love Sherry. She's so talented. We filmed 22 videos that are going to be launching this week. Marketing's launching a ton of stuff this week for you guys. We've come up with this campaign called Financially Empowered. And really what it's about is educating the end consumer on what's happening in the marketplace, just some foundational content as well around what is mortgages, why use a mortgage broker, all these videos, social, digital assets, grab and go. Everything is going to be available to you guys by the end of the week, connected into your Dominion Lending Center's websites as well. So look for that. But I'm going to throw it, Dave, if you can just do one of the teaser videos that Sherry answered in this Q&A format, we would love to see that.
Getting a mortgage is not a do-it-yourself project. It's complicated, and using someone who has expertise in all the possible options and can provide you with a wide array of choices in terms of lenders, in terms of the terms of the mortgage, and helping you understand what is important and what is best for you and your family is a crucial thing to do.
There's 26 of those videos that you film with Sherry that our
Yeah.
brokers can use, and we're going to also use them on BNN and other financially connected channels and resources, so that we can have Sherry out there, obviously with DLC and giving that advice. So it's pretty exciting. It's fun.
Yeah, we just thought, you know what, Bruce is amazing. He's fun. He's catchy. He's going to, those commercials, that digital campaign is going to really connect with an array of audiences. But specifically in today's market, I think customers are so hungry for information. And this is such a great way to get some snippets of information and really drive conversation from the one and only Dr. Sherry Cooper. So we're really excited about that. Remember, check your inbox. I'm going to be inundating you guys like crazy this week, but with all good stuff, hopefully, and you're going to be able to take advantage of what we've been pushing out. So, and for our French audience that's tuning in, the Sherry Cooper campaign will be also available in French. Obviously, she filmed it in English, but we've subtitled it. It's going to follow a couple of weeks later, but we are going to come out with all the same content for you guys as well. So stay tuned for that.
Awesome.
So, now we've launched a couple campaigns. Hopefully that's getting your creative juices flowing. What I want to talk about is how are you going to maximize campaigns, and how are you going to specifically maximize marketing in today's market or in any market to connect effectively with your target audience. So the one thing I want to start by saying is, difference. We talk about branding, we talk about marketing a lot. What's the difference between branding and marketing? Well, good branding is a visual storyteller, right? Branding is about making your customer imagine something. I'm going to use the example of Apple. We all think, most of us have an Apple phone, unless you're Chris Cade. I think he's still rolling on a BlackBerry. But when you think about an Apple product, you think a little bit about status. You think about innovation. You think about technology. That's the way we want people to think about Dominion Lending Centers and all of your expertise. But when we talk about marketing, marketing is about making people do something. So that's really in the power of our digital ads, enticing someone to buy an Apple phone or connect with one of our mortgage experts for your advice or for your expertise as they're going through their home buying journey. So when we're talking about marketing, I want you to think really about both. I want you to think about the visual appeal that you're building, as well as the story and the power of why people should connect and use you. And this is where I'm going to really plug our incredible marketing team. We have been working so hard in the last 6 months to build a foundation of incredible resources for you to leverage. And when you're thinking about your marketing plan, not just in today's marketplace, where I would argue customers are looking for information, what does the Bank of Canada rates mean for my mortgage? How am I going to navigate this? They want your expert advice, but you want to connect with them on a very specific level. And this is where I would argue, please go take a look at your database. You heard from Greg Donville, you heard from Mary, Mary up next. You heard from Heather, you heard from Doreen about mining your database, understanding the customers that are sitting there ready to connect with. Take a look at your social media. I want you to, if you're active on Instagram, just because Instagram happens to be a little bit more maybe millennial forward or Gen Z forward, it doesn't mean you can't push out a message that's surrounding a reverse mortgage. You've got to think about how you're positioning your tone, how you're positioning it to connect with an individual audience that's following you on social. We've created a ton of different download and go assets, as Dave showed on the screen there, tons of different social media things that you can do to really properly connect with your database. And we're here to help with that. But as you're thinking about your whole marketing strategy and thinking maybe about diversifying, maybe you want to hit up TikTok, just think about how you want to position yourself. And I would also challenge you not to always put mortgage forward content on social or in your blogs. We think about a customer's life cycle. They're maybe 2.5 years. Maybe they're thinking about refinancing, breaking their mortgage. Maybe they're locked in for the 5-year term and they're ready to go, but they're not going to be engaging you within that from the signing their mortgage to the renewal process or refinance process unless they need to. And so you want to create an environment where your customers are wanting to follow you. They want mortgage advice and they're going to naturally get that because that's your expertise. But think about maybe things in your community, connecting with smaller businesses, showcasing your community as a whole. Maybe you're going to partner with a realtor or another referral partner where you can showcase what's happening in your community in the housing market. Maybe you just want to showcase your kids. You want to do something that's a little bit unique. People want to connect with you on an authentic level. They want to obviously hear about you on the mortgage side. Don't stop doing that. But please think about your marketing strategy as a whole and think about different ways to connect with the right audience on the right platform. I know I'm picking on social media a lot right now, but Facebook, as an example, does attract an older demographic, a baby boomer demographic. But that doesn't mean you can't push first-time homebuyer language or the new Bruce Buffer commercial on that platform. But you might want to think about positioning the upfront a little differently, like, hey, you have a kid that's living in your basement saving for their first home? Connect with me to help on the home buying journey, however you want to position it. So I think just finding that balance, understanding who you've connected with, who is ready to connect with you in this space is going to really elevate your marketing game and make sure you're getting that engagement level and all that hard work that you're pushing out from a marketing perspective is really working. Just on that, we've showed you the social squares. I would encourage you to take a look at the Marketing Center. We've been working on not just social, we've got social story templates, we've got social media stickers, but we've got business card templates, coloring books, a GIF library, PowerPoints. Like we have really one-pagers. You guys have been asking for one-pagers lately with all content. So reminding you to use marketing team to take a look at what we've put out here. If it's not your color, it's not your style, you want things purple, no problem. Use the expertise with our incredible designers and have it customized to you so you can really create that overarching marketing strategy that's going to create engagement for you, whether it be on social, whether it's on your website, whether it's within your CRMs. It's really going to change your game. And it's the time for you to be able to connect in a really fun way. And again, use the new commercials that we're about to launch, use the new social media that we're about to launch. I think it's really going to spark conversation and help you differentiate in your marketplace as well.
Just to add, Kate, really quickly, you're saying a lot of great stuff. I'm taking notes myself. And I think some people think they have to be perfect in their, what they're launching, or it's got to look great. And I know that Danielle a couple of years ago in Thrive talked about her videos, and, we talked about bloopers, and, sometimes the not so perfect ones are the best ones. So don't be shy just to get content out there. I think especially if you're like me, older, and really don't know how to use different filters and
TikTok?
and I'm just throwing stuff out there, and it's just important that you just get it out there. Just remember this: now is the best time to be communicating with your audience. Right? They are looking for content. There's a lot of challenges in the market. Like we have rising rate, we have declining prices. We have a lot of uncertainty, the whole trigger rate and VRM. You want to be communicating as much of that stuff as possible so they can resonate and come back to you with questions. You want them to be asking you questions, not lenders, not others, but you. Just want to add that in.
Yeah. And I love the authentic, it's exactly it. Don't be afraid to try a video. Don't be afraid to, mess up along the way. We're human. And I think as, consumers in any app, you're connected with a brand or a person or a service offering that you genuine and themselves. So, get on TikTok, experiment with it. Take a video, take a reel. People are looking for content right now. They're looking for advice. They're looking for relevant information and guidance around what's happening in the marketplace. Actually, me included. Hi, I'm in a variable rate mortgage every time the Bank of Canada, I'm like, oh God.
I think Kate just froze there. We'll wait for her to come back online. But as she said, she's in a variable rate mortgage, and she needs. Oh, there you are.
There you go. Sorry, I don't know what's happening. Hardwired in and everything. Here I am. I'm just glitching out. But
yeah. Yeah. You're just talking about, you were in a variable rate mortgage yourself and looking for information. I mean, very, very critical at this time.
Yes, absolutely. And just be authentic, really, is what I was saying. Just give that info out, and don't be afraid to really explore other platforms and other things. It's fairly consistent. So take this opportunity right now to audit your headshots, your HTML signatures. Make sure you have a very consistent look and feel. You're going to be using some of our new content, refresh that everywhere, and just make sure you're kind of up to date, and then people can easily find you. So they're not, searching you, seeing an older photo and then other photos else.
So there's a question here. I just want to ask it because it's really important, and that's lead time. What lead time would the marketing team require to help with personalized content? There is a ticketing system. Maybe you can just talk a little bit about that, and then how much time your team needs to get back to our agents.
Yeah, typically we have a 3 to 5 business days. It really is depending on season. So obviously heading into the holiday season, it's a little bit big. New year, new me. That happens a lot. So I would say try and budget for that. It really also depends on scope project to be custom or maybe a big car wrap. You need to think about the lead time there. If you're looking for a social square or something a little bit smaller, that will.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Kate continues to glitch, but her team is fantastic. 3 to 5 business days. You heard that from Kate. Get your requests in. Don't leave it for last minute. Get your requests in. This is a very critical time to be communicating, to be marketing, and you want to make sure you don't leave it for last minute. Kate and her team will get through them as fast as they can. They're excellent at it. The content and the look and feel will be awesome. So I just wanted to just wrap that up, and we'll go on. Kate, are you frozen still, or are you just saying you are frozen still? Maybe we'll go to Mary and Kate if we have time. We'll come back to you. Hey, Mary, you're on mute, but hopefully you're
Hello.
not.
He just popped me in there. How are you?
Yeah, hey, listen, it's live television. It just happens, right? So, but I'm really excited to have you, Mary. And a lot of our brokers and agents know who you are. You've done an incredible job making sure that our agents and brokers are ready to do business, ready to ensure that they have what they need to continue on. And we want to talk about SEO. We want to talk about Google specifically and where you, and where you rank. So the further a website position you are back, the smaller chances it is that potential buyers, potential customers, potential borrowers find you. So ranking in Google is pretty important. It's I would say it's very important. So
absolutely, Eddie. This is
actually, I've seen this presentation. Right? It is really good. Guys, get your pens, get your notepads ready, and Mary will teach you how to rank up there for your Google searches. So Mary, take it away.
Thank you, Eddie. Now, this is one of my favorite topics. Why? Because if you set it up correctly, you will generate leads. Who doesn't want leads, right? So let's go. I'm just going to switch slides here. Here we go. All right. So having a Google business profile, and all right. Now we got it under control. All right. Having a Google business profile will boost your online presence and make it easy for customers to find you, right? That's exactly what we want to do. Without it, you're missing out on hundreds of searchers who are trying to find your services, right, in your local market. So many of you on this call today probably set up a business profile a long time ago, but haven't touched it since. Let me hear your comments. I'm sure some of you are on here who have not touched your business profile. Some of you might not have even considered it. But in today's world, having a Google business profile is no longer optional, guys. It has to become part of your marketing strategy. Why? Well, number one, Google is the number one search engine in the world, with over 90% of the population using Google to search for information. Unlike the other guys like Bing, Yahoo, DuckDuckGo, they only represent a small 10% or less than 10%. So when you set up your free Google business profile, you not only show up in the search engines, you show up on Google Maps. And this is extremely important. Why? Well, 86% of customers use Google Maps to find local businesses. You guys do it. I do it. We all use Google Maps to search for our local service provider. So really important. And this is obviously a very important statistic, but also 88% of customers look for online reviews before choosing someone. And we do it too, right? We check out reviews before we hire a service provider. So if you don't have a Google business profile, you're missing out on potential leads, guys. So really important to set it up. However, just having a Google business profile is not enough. You need to make sure it's fully optimized. That's what we're going to talk about today, and updated so you outrank your competition. You want to be in the top search results when someone is searching for someone like you. So you can't just set it and forget it anymore. You've got to actually do a little bit of work. So in order to help you rank within your local market, there's a few things you need to do, a little bit of work, but ultimately it'll be well worth it, guys. And I get comments all the time after I've been helping brokers do this. So we're going to talk about the top individual factors that have the biggest impact on your local searches. But before I go on any further, I just want everyone to understand that Google, okay, does not share their algorithms. They don't share their secret sauce. They don't tell us how businesses rank within Google. They only provide recommendations and advise us on updates. And they've made a ton of updates, just some core updates just last month. So really important to keep up to date. So now I have spent over the last 4 years helping a lot of brokers set up their pages and optimize their pages. I've learned what works, what doesn't work. I've collected feedback from a lot of brokers letting me know how their pages are doing. But the information I'm going to share with you today is not just based on my experience. I'm going to be using a top 20 rankings report that's published annually. So you know that I'm not making this stuff up. This report contains valuable information that I'll be using throughout this presentation, okay? So really important that you understand that this report is collected, it's researched and tested by SEO experts across hundreds of Google business listings and consolidated into this one report. Now, I'm going to only highlight the top 5, all right? Because limited time, and we're going to focus on the 5. However, for those of you who want to check out the full report, just go to whitespark.ca and you can check out all the information there. All right. So what are the top 5 individual factors that can affect your rankings? Let's have a look. What are they? Well, number 1 is business category. Primary business category is really important. This is actually a simple one in our industry because we only have one category in this industry. So you can't mess this up, but unfortunately, some people have. And the category is mortgage broker. So when you're setting up your page, if you haven't done one already, Google will ask you to choose a category from a list they provide. Just find mortgage broker. You know, that's basically your category is the what you want to be found for, right? So that would be your primary category. Now, I have seen brokers use financial advisor, mortgage lender, and some other options. And if you do this, when someone is searching for mortgage broker in your location, You will be completely invisible. You will not be found. So you'll miss out on lots of potential leads. So make sure you've got the right category. Now, some of you do like to add additional categories. And as you can see from the report here, it does have some ranking effect. Okay, so it would be good to add additional categories that complement your mortgage business. All right. So for instance, I was working with a broker who mortgages is his primary business, but he dabbles in real estate. He has a real estate license. So we added that additional category of real estate. Now, if real estate was a big part of his business, then we wouldn't do that. We would create another Google business profile under real estate with that primary category so he can also be found for real estate services as well. So keep that in mind. Remember, your primary category is the ultimate one.
So Mary, does this, so I know you said that's from the beginning of the year. Does that change? Like that category stuff, does it change? Like do you have to keep on top?
Yeah, the rankings report is based on 2021. Okay. So by the end of the year, and Google's made a ton of changes this year. So I'm going to talk about some of those changes. And you really want to take advantage of these features that I'm going to talk about. So the 2022 report will probably look a little different. Yes.
Okay. And so if you fall off the first page, is it because there's been changes as you talk about?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I do have lots of questions here, but let's keep going. We'll ask them all at the end, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. All right, next, number 2, second factor that definitely will affect your ranking is using keywords in your business title. Now, as you can see from this example, I'm using Adam here, and he's got Barry Mortgage Broker in his title. Now, this will help him when someone is searching for a mortgage broker in his location, right? Very strategic. Now, business names can be very tricky because you have to abide by your provincial regulator guidelines. So you got to be careful there. I know, and Eddie, you know this, FSRA in Ontario is really cracking down on this. So you want to make sure you're compliant with your regulator, right? But notice how he's structured his title, his business name. He's got his name, right? Why wouldn't you have your name? You are the service provider. Clients come to you because they like and trust you. So you want your name. Your title is strategic because it's a mortgage broker, Barry location. Those are the words people will be using to search for your type of services. And he's got Dominion Lending Centers, the franchise. Now, let me tell you a quick story. If he's on the call right now, please, Adam, post your comments. When I helped Adam set up this page and tweak it, he actually started getting leads. And one of the leads was really interesting. She went to her bank, got declined, and the bank told her to find and search for Dominion Lending Centers. Just go to Dominion Lending Centers. That's what they told her. Awesome. So she hops on Google's Dominion Lending Centers near me, and Adam's profile came up. But the reason why she called Adam, she told him, was that she loved his reviews and what people were saying about him. So we're going to be talking about reviews, which is really important. So your business name, guys, is really important. I know that you want to brand yourselves. Some of you use different names altogether, or even, company names that are not even licensed. So be careful with that. All right.
And Mary, Dominion Lending Centers is that's a huge one, right? You want to make sure that's in your name. It's registered with the regulator, because that's going to be a searchable, very searchable name.
Oh, yeah. You want to piggyback off that name, guys. We do tons of, just as Kate was mentioning, and she didn't tell you everything she does. She does a lot more in terms of marketing the Dominion Lending Centers brand. So, guys, you want to piggyback off that name. Just like that example of the client, she searched Dominion Lending Centers in her area, and Adam popped up. So you definitely want to take advantage of that. Now, the other thing you have to consider with a business title is you have to be compliant with Google. Google has guidelines, and it states right in their guidelines, you must represent your business as it's consistently represented and recognized in the real world across signage, stationery, and branding. So what does that mean? When you go and advertise in your local market, right, you have all this information properly displayed. So why not put it in your business title? Definitely a huge advantage for you. So you are compliant with both your regulator and with Google, because, you know, be careful. Google could suspend your account if you're not compliant. All right.
Just really quickly, Tim said something, and Dave, bring it back up, right? Like, you guys, I hope you're doing that. I mean, this is valuable information. If you're not sitting there and updating your Google as Mary's going through this, I don't know what to tell you. So thank you, Tim, for that reminder. Absolutely. As Mary goes through this, I want to see those fingers moving.
All right. Awesome, Tim. That's great. And if you need help, you know where to find us. All right. So next, number 3. Google reviews, of course, right? Reviews play a key role in your ranking. As I already mentioned, 88% of customers look for online reviews, but there's actually 3 factors regarding reviews that are mentioned on this report. So let's have a look. Number 1 is the higher the rating, right? If you're getting 4 and 5-star ratings, this is good. And quantity of reviews. So the more reviews, the better. You want to get more reviews than your competition, right? Remember to ask every client after you close a successful transaction, ask them for a review. You know, we had the CRM guys from Blue talking about automated emails. You have Velocity CRM as part of your package. It'll send an automated email after the deal's closed. It's fresh in their mind. And you can give them a link right to your Google review page where they choose the amount of stars and start typing in the review. Make it easy so you don't have to remember to do it, right? So the third thing, you'll never guess this one, the third thing about your reviews that can affect your ranking is the keywords clients use in their reviews. This is kind of cool because Google tracks keywords under people often mention, right? So if your clients were to mention words like my mortgage broker or the product you help them with, you know, refinancing, you know, these are all great keywords that can help direct more traffic to your listing. But of course, right, Eddie, we can't tell people what to write in the reviews because that would be a little odd.
Right.
But we can encourage them in a very subtle way. So how do we do that? Well, first, you can, you know, basically send an email to the client, right? Asking them or encouraging them to include these keywords. Now, I love this template. I found it. It was written by an SEO expert. I love this template because, first off, it does really tell the client how important it is for you to get these reviews. So, for instance, I'll read a little paragraph here. It says, as a local business, we rely enormously on positive word of mouth and would be grateful if you could share your experience by submitting a Google review. And then it goes on to say, not sure about what to write? Well, here are some suggestions. And it gives the client strategic questions to try to draw out those beautiful keywords that they can put in those reviews. So if anyone wants a copy of this, you can just, and Dave, you might want to throw this up on the screen, email training at dominionlending.ca. So send us an email at training@dominionlending.ca.
I have a feeling you're getting a lot of emails right now.
Thank you, Dave. Training@dominionlending.ca. Feel free to message us and we'll send you this. This is a great template you can add right into your CRM, right? And have it sent out right after every successful transaction. So you have it automated and you don't have to remember to do it, right? All right.
You know, customers will feel good about giving you that review. If you gave them exceptional service, sometimes they won't just do it because they have, you know, it's work and they got to find it. But if you do exactly what Mary said, make it part of your process. So you're in Velocity, you know it's going to go out, make it part of your process. That way the client can easily go in, oh, there's some suggestions. Oh yeah, I love this. I love Mary. I love what she did, and hammer away that Google research. So press the easy button. That's what we do for you. Press that easy button so you don't have to beg and plead and call and follow up. It's right there for them. That's awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah. So much easier when it's automated, right?
Absolutely.
One more thing about reviews, and if that'll come up on the screen there, you have to respond to your reviews. Guys, please respond. Why? Well, Google looks at whether or not the owners are interacting with their clients, right? But also it shows potential customers reading your reviews that you actually care and you're engaged with your clients, right? And you're running a professional business. So it does a lot for you. And try and respond as quickly as possible, because speed of response can help your ranking as well. Because Google search engines, they're looking at this stuff. So you want to make sure you respond. Even if it's a bad review, guys, respond. And a bad review, don't worry, it won't deter a client, especially if you respond. I suggest you take, some time to cool off first before you respond to a bad review. Just cool down and think about it, but be apologetic. Maybe something screwed up that was out of your control. Maybe it was the lender, and let the client know, listen, thank you for the feedback. We're going to use that and make changes in our process. We value your opinion, because someone's reading that. And someone's going to make a decision to call you based on that. So don't get your ego in the way. Respond. And, if you need someone else to do it, have someone else respond if you're that angry. But really important to respond.
Yeah. One more tip, follow up with a gift certificate or something that you can mail them. Thank them again for review and helping you improve your business, because they will most likely go back in and say, you know what, Eddy was awesome. And, he did follow up and he made those changes and changed that 1 to a 5, right? So it's really important that you do respond, but just follow up and hopefully they get back in there and improve your ranking.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the reviews, Google allows individuals or the owners to like the reviews. So like every review, even if it's bad, just like it and respond. It just shows that you're okay with getting feedback, right? Which is good. All right. Okay, so number 4. Let's go back to the slide here. This is interesting. So your physical address could be affecting your ranking. Google lists physical address and your mailing address. So what is that? What is that? Well, let me give you an example here. Your physical address is the address that Google thinks you're in, and sometimes can be different from your mailing address. This happens often in big cities. Like here's an example at Vaughan, right? We got lots of little cities within Vaughan. We've got Concord, Woodbridge, Maple, right?
Yeah, Maple. Yeah, absolutely.
So this happens in those type of cities, or maybe you're borderline a city, rural area, or in a rural area, and you want to be found in a different area. So your physical address is very important. I want you to check that out. If it's the same, don't worry. But if you see a difference, that's when you've got to look at it. I suggest you search yourself, do a test, search yourself in the physical city address where Google thinks you're in, and search yourself in your mailing address as well, and just see where you rank. If you're good, just leave it alone, all right? I wouldn't suggest changing it unless you're really not ranking in that area. All right. Next.
Good stuff, Mary. This is good stuff.
All right. Lastly, number 5. Complete profiles, guys, rank higher within LinkedIn, within Google search engines, as well as LinkedIn, if you're looking at doing that. So make sure your Google business profile is fully complete. It's all about the client experience with Google. Google wants to send its searchers to the best and most accurate search results as possible. So having a fully complete and accurate listing will increase your ranking. So many of you on this call right now probably set up your Google listing years ago or had another company do it and never looked back. Well, it's time, guys. It's time to, I'm going to use that all the time now. It's time to update your Google page. Make sure it's 100% complete. And all the information is accurate. Over the last 2 years during COVID, you guys moved around, you made changes. So check your address, phone number, website link. Imagine a client is on your site, they click on website, goes to an old address or a 404. That's a turnoff. You will lose potential leads. It happens. So you want to check all this information and make sure it's completely up to date, right? So let's just recap. I want to recap the 5 top factors because some people are writing this down. And then I'm going to get into the key features that you should be taking advantage within your Google page. So number 1, right? Business category, mortgage broker. Don't use anything else. That's what you want to be found for. Keywords in your business title. Use your name, your title with location and your Dominion Lending Center's franchise name. You're going to take advantage of all those beautiful keywords. And remember, it's your name. You're the service provider, right? People remember your name over anything else. Google reviews, really important. Automate the process. If you need help with that, you got amazing trainers across the country to help you set up your CRM and have that beautiful email go out after closing, asking for reviews. Physical address. Check it. See if that's where you want to be found, because that's what Google thinks you are in. So you want to check that. And lastly, 100% complete profiles. Go in. It's really easy to do it because when you go into your dashboard on the home page, it'll tell you the percentage of completion. So it'll tell you you're 80% complete. Well, no, you want to get to 100. So just follow Google instructions and you will be able to increase your ranking just based on that. So now let's look at some key features that a lot of you are not taking advantage of that you really should be. So let's have a look. First is products and services. So products and services are really important because, well, first of all, services will only show up in mobile searches, not desktop. So I want you to check it out. Check your page, your Google business profile on your mobile as well, but still very important. So I recommend when you're doing products to keep them very high level. You want to say stuff like residential mortgages, commercial mortgages, investor mortgages, maybe even add equipment financing if that's something that you offer. That's the high level products. Services is where you can get more granular, and this is where you can break down the various mortgage solutions you offer, like refinancing, debt consolidation, right? Renovation mortgages. And take advantage, there's a description box right inside each of these services. A lot of you haven't done that. This is where you can feed information to search engines about what you do. So what does that mean exactly? Well, 2 years ago, when I was helping set up a lot of pages and we got to this stage here, setting up these services, Google provided recommendations for our services, and they were terrible. They were like, I'll give you an example. One was home purchasing. No, we're not licensed realtors. We're mortgage brokers. So Google was learning about our business. And now, 2 years later, after setting up so many pages and making sure people are doing this and adding really good content to their services, they're now recommending the right stuff. And I just saw the other day, they recommended reverse mortgages. So yes, they're looking at this stuff. They're learning about our business. And the more people get this stuff right and accurate and put really good content, Google will really truly understand our business and help us in a sense.
So
All right.
They'll reward for that. So that's what we want collectively as an industry, to be really good on the Google reviews.
Yeah, you hit it on the nail. Collectively. So we do this together, we'll really benefit all together, right? So yes, absolutely. So the other key feature, some of you are doing this really well, some of you aren't, is posts. Posting in your Google business account. Yes, you can post just like you do in social media. Now, social media, you post and all your friends and family see it. When you post in Google, it's people who don't know you that see you. These are new leads. These are new clients we want to access. So posting is really important. And I would do it a minimum of once a week. The other thing I'd like you guys to do is post events. Hey, it's October. A lot of you guys do these amazing events like coloring contests or pumpkin carving contests. So post those events on your page as well. It'll drive more traffic.
I don't know if Gary's back there, but you got to bring back the coloring contest, Gary. Those were so popular. Not sure if you're still doing that, but you should.
Yeah, some of the offices say, hey, the first 50 people that come into the office will get a pumpkin pie, free pumpkin pie. They have such great events that they host, but they don't brag about it enough. They don't utilize all their different vehicles to post that amazing information or charity events, right?
Especially in communities, right, Mary? I mean, if you have a community that, like Mary says, and you're local, it's Barrie or what have you, and you're saying, hey, I'm holding a pumpkin carving contest for kids, there are going to be new clients, potential clients coming out because they're looking for something to do on that weekend, and you happen to have a pumpkin cart. It doesn't cost you a lot of money, maybe a few pumpkins, but hopefully it's going to get you a deal or two. So yeah, absolutely, you want to post about your events, where your office is, what you're doing is a smart idea.
Yeah, and I see a question coming in from Casey. Casey says, what if you're a licensed agent? That's okay. You can add mortgage agent. If I'm sure you're talking about your title, right? Your business name, you can say mortgage agent and the location you're in. You want to be compliant with your regulator, right? So you've got to use the title that you can use in your province. And don't worry about that because each province has their own titles. But there, a lot of people promoting those titles in their marketing. So it's a common thing that clients are seeing more and more. So yes, mortgage agent is fine. You can do that.
Do you want to go through the other questions, Mary, now, or do you have some more that you want to go through?
I'm going to go through a little bit more, and then we'll take up some questions if that's okay.
Yeah, go.
Just want to stress the fact that posts, unlike social media, Kate was mentioning, just get in there, post stuff, and don't worry, don't be so accurate. In Google, it's the opposite. Google's a little bit picky. You have to make sure you're using high quality images and good content. We can't just post just to keep our page updated. I know in the past I'd say, hey, just post something just to keep your page updated. Now we can't. Why? Because Google search engines is searching this information from your posts and even your services. And you know what they're doing? They're using this information in your Q&A. You guys have a questions and answers section in your business page. And a lot of people not taking advantage of this section. So when a client starts typing in a question, Google will immediately search for answers that have already been used in either your posts or service descriptions. So the better the quality and accuracy of your content, the more Google can easily pull in this information. Now, Google also allows owners to add your own Q&A. So take advantage of that. Like think about the most commonly asked questions your first-time homebuyers ask you and post the question and the response, right?
Absolutely.
And what does that do? It shows, people, Kate was talking about it earlier, people are searching for information. They want to know that you're the expert. Right. So why not, right, display the most commonly asked questions with the information, give them really good content, right? You're perceived as the mortgage expert, and you're more likely to get more clicks to call or clicks to your website for sure. All right. So next, add photos and videos, guys. I can't stress this enough. Photos, really important. According to Google, businesses with photos on their profile receive 42% more requests for driving directions through Google Maps and 35% more click-throughs to their website. So it drives traffic to your website. You want good, high quality images. Use your graphic designers. They're amazing. They've got access to great images that are not copyright, and you won't get any issues there, any legal letters to cease and desist. So try and make sure you're using really good quality photos. Now, check out in your page when you add these photos at the bottom left corner, you'll see this little eyeball icon. It shows you the amount of views that you've had on your photos. So the ones with the least amount of views, replace them with some better quality images. And remember, don't delete any ones that are not, that are getting a lot of views, right? Now, why are photos so important? Well, this is interesting. Our brains actually process images faster than text. In fact, 60,000 times faster than text. So the images you choose on your site could speed up a visitor's decision to actually contact you. So, make sure, check out your competition. See how many photos they have. I want you to have better quality photos and more than what your competition has up on their site. So really important. This is where, again, you got access to amazing graphic design team that can help you create custom images for your business as well. So take advantage.
Here's Greg trying to top you, Mary. Right?
Yeah.
Not gonna happen, buddy. Sorry,
love the Gregor. All right, guys. Here's another important feature that a lot of brokers haven't taken advantage of, except for Deepak here and NASA CASA. You guys have done a great job here. Add an opening date. A lot of people have these Google pages, and they may have had a company set up for them, and they never took advantage of adding an opening date. What that does is it shows how many years you've been in the business.
That's amazing.
Right? So if you're a franchise that opened up years ago, go back to your business page. You can backdate this, which is great, and have your open date. If you're a broker or agent, and again, you started years ago, at least 3 or more years, right? Add the date.
That's credibility, right? I mean, that gives you, someone's at your door, Mary. That gives you credibility, right? Anytime you can say, hey, I've been established, since this year, I've been in business for this long. That's why you see that on big companies all the time. It shows credibility. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it could be that one thing that causes people to click on yours, your business page versus someone else's. So if you're brand new though, leave it blank. Don't put in a date because it could do you more harm, right? So just leave it blank. It won't come up. No information will come up. And then once you've got about 2 to 3 years under your belt, that's when I'd go in there and put in that date, backdate it, and it'll show up. It does take a bit of time for it to show up on your site. So give Google some time to get it up there.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Lastly, I want you guys to take advantage of these beautiful insights within your Google My Business or Google Business profile. These insights give you valuable information about your business, how well your page is doing or not doing. Now, I suggest you take a snapshot of your analysis today, right? Take a snapshot today, make all the changes we recommended today. And then 30 days from now, I want you to take another snapshot, and I'd love for you to send me this feedback. I want to see your searchers, your total views go up. I want to see all this information increase. Now, here's a chart that shows you how your customers found you. I really love this information because it shows you if your customers found you by searching your name or address directly, so direct search, or if they found you by searching a category, mortgage broker near me. Or it also shows you by brand. So did they search by Dominion Lending Centers? This is valuable information, guys. I want you to check it out. The other chart and information it gives you is whether they found you on search, in the search, or on Google Maps.
That's so
and you'll find those brokers who have a physical address, you'll probably find that you'll have more searches through maps than searches. It just happens, right? Now, Google will also email you guys a summary of all this great, beautiful information. Don't delete it. Don't ignore it. Look at it. And if there's anything we can do to help you guys, make sure you're outranking every single competition in every location. You guys have lots of support. just email us, email your training team. We all know how to do this. Greg, Heather, myself, just email, and Catherine, email training@dominionlending.ca, and we'll help you get set up and optimized. And it's all about leads. So we want you to generate some leads, guys.
Yeah, let's blow up the comments right now with, emojis of clapping and way to go, Mary, because, this is something Mary works on very, very, very hard. Like, this didn't just come to her. She didn't just go on some website and just download this presentation. She lives it. She helps many, many brokers. I've seen this. I think it was 3 years ago, 2019, when I first saw it, Mary, and you took some brokers, some agents, over the top in terms of getting them recognized in their communities through Google. So absolutely valuable. Hopefully you took notes. And thank you, Mary, so much. I have questions. I want to go through them really quickly, and then we'll get back to Kate. How do you set up a Google business profile for multiple brokers at the same office if they want to use the office phone number as their main contact?
Well, you want to set up a Google business listing for each agent. And yes, you can use the same location. Like, think about it. There's buildings where they have all kinds of different businesses in this one, floor in a building. They're all different, separate businesses. So yes, you can use the same address, and usually your franchise has office locations that you can use.
Yep.
But remember, when you're setting up a Google page that has an office that already has pages, be very careful, because Google will ask you when you're setting it up, is this you? Is this your address? Say no, because then you don't want to be tied into that office. You want your own separate page with the same address. So really important. It will ask you, it'll find that address. Just say, no, that's not me. I want to set up my own page with the same address.
So here it says, if your broker office is in Scarborough, but you live in Mississauga and you work from home in a different name, what address do you use?
Yeah,
What do you
yeah.
suggest?
Well, some people working from home don't want to show their physical address, and you don't have to. So Google allows you to hide that. So as you're setting it up, Google will ask you, do you want to show your address? You can say no. And then I want you to take advantage of the other service areas where you can show Google search engines, hey, I'm in Mississauga, but I also can help people in Port Credit, in Brampton or Caledon, all these other areas. And Google will just show a map versus pinpointing an exact address. Yeah, not everybody wants to show their home address because we're working from home now, right? So that's okay.
Okay, so two quick ones. Does the post have to be in text format, or can it be in video, audio format? I think you answered that.
So you can do post you can post a video, yes, and you can post images, but make sure when you post a graphic image or video, you use the text, take advantage of that beautiful, section where you can talk about what is your post all about, because text is really important. Keywords are important. Search engines don't see photos, guys. They see words. So you want to make sure you have really good keywords in your posts.
Okay, last question from Bill Cook. How we support lead generation, and one of the key questions we get during recruiting. So how do we support lead generation?
Yeah, so Bill, you're part of a huge franchise. So, I've actually trained a lot of your administrators or marketing people to help set up these business pages for your agents. That's a huge value add for those franchise owners listening. You could have this implemented. A Google business profile is more important than business cards, guys.
Right.
Way more important. In a post-pandemic world, online searches have skyrocketed. So it's way more important than business cards. So if I were you, I would offer that as a value add to every new recruit, Bill. And we can help you with that. We can train your staff on how to do this properly so that every agent that comes on board, boom, it's done for them.
Mary, thank you so much. So valuable. I know how hard you work on these presentations. It shows you're a pro. So thank you so much. As Mary mentioned, if you want to get a hold of our training team, you can do that as per email, training@dominionlending.ca. and Heather, Mary, or Greg will get back to you. There is other questions there, guys. We'll maybe Mary can go in and answer those questions on her own. Kelly Dean, I'm sure Mary can help you, or Greg. I just saw your comment. You're having some trouble with some addresses, but we'll get to as many as we can. Thanks again, Mary. I want to go back to Kate really quickly.
Bye.
See you, Mary. Ciao. Let's see how there you are. You're good. Oh, you're on mute now. Like it's just the hits keep on coming. Like really.
You know what? It's not my day. Clearly.
I want to make sure, Kate, because you had some very valuable information. I just want to make sure that all the content you want to deliver is done. So do you want to go where you left off? Where do you want to go from here?
Sure. When I glitched out talking about my mortgage, SOS,
Yeah.
you know how we talked about being authentic, guys. Like this is a very real
Live television, right?
Tech issues, super authentic. So just to kind of recap what I was saying, and by the way, Mary Gronkowski, you're amazing. I just learned a ton of new stuff as well on Google Business. So thank you for your insight. But, we're talking a little bit about how you connect with your community, how you're going to really differentiate yourself online or on your website, or obviously using all of Mary's expertise and just tying it back into doing things that are a little bit different outside of always mortgage content. So just take that leap of faith, really understand who you're speaking to. You can absolutely talk about a reverse mortgage or refinancing on different platforms, but maybe again, change the tone, change how you're saying it, leverage your CRM, and just know a little bit about who you're connecting with so that the person really receiving the content that you're putting out is feeling like it's being delivered directly to them. That's how a consumer wants to be engaged with today. So I always like to know, I call it avatars. It's a very mainstream name, but create an avatar for your customers. Are you going after a first-time home buyer? What do they like? How do they connect? What platforms are they on? Maybe they're more on TikTok, and it's encouraging you to take that leap into TikTok and fumble around with video. Have some fun with it. Maybe you're trying to push a reverse mortgage and educate and understand also that the reverse mortgage market maybe isn't just that older market. It's also their kids that could influence that conversation. So the way that you change what you're putting out there, although you're still delivering the same content, really make sure you're resonating with the end user. And then you're going to see so much more engagement in all of your marketing efforts. For those of you, I know we've talked a little bit about social media today, of course, because it's just the easiest way for you to market right now. It's cheap, it's cheerful, and it gets a message out to a broader range of people. Marketing did put together a social media tip sheet. It's available on the Marketing Center, so I encourage you to go through that. It's not a perfect science. Again, just be you guys, and please, please, please use the incredible marketing team for all your resources and take advantage of all these amazing campaigns that we're about to launch. The final thing I wanted to talk to you about is really just how are you going to take advantage of all of DLC has to offer? Well, marketing actually just released an orientation guide a couple of days ago, network-wide. It's such a labor of love. Lisa Moore and team did such a wonderful job on this. The idea is, yes, for new agents onboarding into DLC, welcome to our culture. Check us out. But I also encourage for all of our original DLC team Bluers, please review it. It's such an incredible opportunity for you to refresh on all the tools and services, connect with head office. As Mary said at the end of her presentation, we're here to support you guys. We're only as good as our network. We want to collaborate with you. If you think there's something missing, if you've got some questions, if you just simply don't know where to find something, this resource is an incredible one, but so is connecting with all of your head office staff as a reminder of all the things that we can offer to help you grow your business and change the conversation. So
proud of this, Kate. You guys really did a great job. And I agree with you. Everyone should download this and review it. This is a great recruiting tool as well. Yeah, so you're talking to new and potential agents and delivering this to them so they understand, the whole entire DLC culture. And this is what, is so important to us, is to understand that this company is way different than any other company. Nobody can say, oh yeah, DLC is the same or just like. Those words don't match. DLC is unique. We are a culture that there's nobody that's even close to what. And I led other networks, so I can say that. I've had experience with other networks, and DLC is absolutely on top of that food chain, so to speak. So take advantage. Kate and her team has put together an incredible library of marketing resources. We have anything and everything that you need to get to that next level. The engagement is up to you. It really is. And if you feel like it's overwhelming, that's okay. That's okay. It's one at a time. You don't have to go and try to do everything. And Mary, Greg, and Heather are great resources for that. Hey, let's look at your business. What do you want to start with? What can we implement right away? What can we take advantage of now? And we can do that for you or help you do that. There is a ton of stuff. I get that. Feels like you're drinking from a fire hose. I get that, but it's one at a time. We have an awesome campaign coming, guys. The Bruce Buffer, it's fun, it's exciting, it's engaging. I'm excited about it. So make sure you're taking advantage of that. Sherry Cooper, we have the ICW coming up as well in a couple of weeks. I'm hoping that it's a 1/4 point increase. Could be a half, but I think we're on that top level, guys. I think we're going to see probably less increases than we thought a few months ago. We have that. I just want to say, how incredible our staff are. You saw Mary, you saw Kate. It's just the passion just oozes out of our staff to help you be better. I really hope you're enjoying. This is the 3rd of 4 universities. We hope you thoroughly enjoyed them. You took lots and lots of notes. Our 4th one coming up, and you saw Gary. He's really excited about sharing his Success Leaves Clues. As most of you know, Gary is a lifelong learner. He reads books, constantly. He's always has a coach. He's always going to look to better himself, and to have him, go through these clues is going to be so valuable. Be sure that you are attending our last one that's going to wrap up. And please, as I said in the beginning, it's one thing to absorb this content. It's one thing to write it down. It's another to actually execute it, right? So make sure all those highlights you're going through and listing, what can I do right now that's going to pay me the best ROI? Go through that and then just execute. Okay, I have 30 things I want to do. Pick one. Just pick one. And then maybe 2 or 3 by the end of the year, one at a time. I still have my cue cards, which are right here. Okay. These are my cue cards, where every time I learn something, I write on my cue cards, and every quarter I spread my cue cards on my desk, and I go through them, and I say, this is what I'm going to implement as an organization, as a team. It's that, it's that simple, but you don't want to overwhelm yourself, and I get that. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Mary. I think the information was awesome, but more importantly, thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening to us. And until next time, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye, everyone.